trial. Robin, why do you think Casey talked to Piers Morgan? Quite a scoop, but refused to go on camera.
Jane, I think it's actually very simple. She's been out of the public's eye for a year, and she misses the attention. She's also a master of manipulation. We both sat through the trial for many weeks. And Jane, she misses being in the spotlight. And I can remember, Jane, and I write about this in the book Beautiful Life, you know, after the trial, a lot of the conversations that went on with her and some of the letters that she wrote while she was in prison were revealed after the trial was over. And in them, she mentioned some very famous broadcasters, and she was very, very involved in watching all the attention and all the news reports about her. So now that her probation is going to be up in a couple of weeks, well, hey, it's time to get back into the limelight.
Can you believe it's almost 4 years, minus a couple of days, that precious child was last seen? 4 years. And it dominated our lives for so long, this case. Piers Morgan said there's a reason Casey spoke to him. And she claims, oh, no, this is not about money. Let's listen.
And she didn't want to make money. There was never a request for payment. We don't pay for interviews at CNN anyway.
No.
And she knew that. I think she felt it would be a more credible discussion with a news organisation that wasn't paying her.
But notice that she didn't appear on camera. She did not also allow her voice to be recorded. Now reports are saying Casey is still seeking a princely sum for her first on-camera interview. A year ago, when she was released, some outlets claimed she wanted $1 million. Well, then, of course, we all learned through the trial that one network paid Casey more than $200,000 in licensing fees, and the blowback was huge. It was highly criticized. And by the way, you can read my op-ed on HLNTV.com. Mark my words. Lisa Bloom, legal analyst for Avo.com and author of Swagger. Speaking of Swagger, this was a very calculated move, I think, on Casey Anthony's part with, I think, the cooperation of her attorney.
Well, I'll tell you something. If she wants to sell the first interview, she should not be talking now. I mean, if I can just be cynical for a moment, the way that you get top dollar for an interview or for a book deal is by keeping your mouth shut, by keeping all of the secrets inside, and that's what you sell for the TV interview or for the book interview. But nevertheless, I think she could still get $1 million, I'm sorry to say. I think if that's what she wants, probably there's a show out there that will pay it. Not HLN, not CNN, but somewhere else, I think it could happen.
I don't know. Jen Hager, assistant managing editor, RadarOnline.com. There was blowback to the network that paid $200,000. And so I think the networks are kind of afraid of getting in bed, so to speak, with Casey Anthony, because if it comes out that they did pay her $1 million, there's going to be blowback.
I absolutely agree with you, Jane. You know, I want to read a partial transcript of what Cheney Mason said last night to Piers Morgan in regards to Casey Anthony not accepting any money, not trying to make a profit on this. He said, you know, basically that they're sitting back, they're looking at what other people are doing, and there is a time and a place when Casey will have her story told, when she will tell her side of the story. Well, is that going to be in a book deal? Is that going to be a television interview? I think at some point in the very near future, we're going to see Casey Anthony in front of cameras, most likely being paid by some media outlet. Let me be very clear that RadarOnline.com will never pay 1 cent to Casey Anthony for any interview, photographs, or anything.
Yeah, and neither will we, obviously. J.D. Weintraub, criminal defense attorney out of Miami. You have been a Casey Anthony defender. Oftentimes on this show, you're close to the defense team. What say you to all of us cynics who say this was calculated?
Well, I mean, let's take one step back. Did it ever occur to you that Casey might feel the dust has settled, it's been some time, and she really just wants to tell the truth? I know that doesn't occur to any of you that are on this panel, but that's what I personally think. This is somebody who was found not guilty. This is somebody that was convicted by the press. No offense, Jane. This is somebody who literally has had her life turned inside out publicly. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with her selling her story, her side of the story, if there's a want in the public to hear it. There's nothing wrong
I
with it.
think that
She
the
turned
public
down
has
$1 million
said time and
from
time
Playboy
again
or
they don't
Hustler.
want to hear it because they regard her as a habitual liar, so they don't think anything she's going to put in print is going to be any more truthful than what she told cops, which was one lie after the other, that she worked at Universal Studios when she didn't, that she dropped the child off at the Sawgrass Apartments, which she didn't,
Jane,
that
she
she
was
had a nanny
scared
named
out of her
Zanny, which she
wits.
didn't. The list goes on.